Hey there, friends and foes. Good morning, multiverse. This is Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth while navigating adulthood today. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pyka. You can call me Johnny, Johnny Beyond if you dare. And this morning, we are going to be talking about why Jackie Chan Adventures is the best animated series of the last 24 years. And you get to join us right after this.
Saturday morning, it's fun for all. Cartoons and cereal, let's have a ball. Comic books, kaiju, pro wrestling too. The fun is waiting for you. Back of the cereal box.
Hey everybody, Chris Vaglou here from Song Swap Showdown. We are your weekly musical throwdown podcast. Each and every week, my co-host Amanda Sharp and I each swap 3 songs with each other that we may or may not have heard before, and then we rate those songs at a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a hard pass of a song and 5 being heavenly music to our ears. The songs are chosen by spinning the wheel of themes at the end of every single episode. But today, I am here to let you know that your weekend is not complete unless you started off by watching Back of the Cereal Box with Johnny Beyond and the rest of the crew. Love you, Johnny. Keep up the amazing work and rock it.
Thank you very much, Chris Vaglio of Song Swap Showdown. We appreciate you guys. And this morning, we are talking about Jackie Chan Adventures. And to help us do that is my amazing co-host, your wife's favorite redhead, amazing cosplayer. And when I say amazing cosplayer, prepare to be blown away because she is in full Jackie Chan regalia. Please welcome the one, the only, Aubrey Cavett.
Good morning, cereal boxers. It is me under here.
This is unbelievable, Aubrey. So, first of all, you've been sick all week.
Yes.
Normally,
Yes,
normally, it amazes me the extent that you go to for this show. You even got a Chinese themed background. How did you do that?
I do. I actually used this and the dragon pieces that I'm wearing today. I used all of this for Middle Tennessee Anime Convention this year because it's Year of the Dragon.
So you are appearing as one, quote unquote, one of the dragons from Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yes, I am the talisman come to life.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And by the way, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this show is about celebrating the Saturday morning experience, the Saturdays of our youth, while navigating adulthood today. And when I was a kid, we didn't have iPhones or tablets at the breakfast table on Saturday morning. We were eating big bowls of cereal, watching cartoons, watching kung fu movies, kaiju movies, reading comic books, and in between cartoons, comic books, and kaiju, we were reading the Back of the Cereal Box. And that's what this show is about. And yes, I'm in my pajamas, even though Aubrey is all dressed up. She rejects that part of the show completely.
Well, there were some of us, Johnny, that actually did put capes on and little plastic masks, because our budget was like this big.
So... I did.
Okay. Well, this is the grown-up version of that. And I'm just proud that I can do it on camera and encourage other people to be themselves also.
I did that on Friday night. This is the Saturday morning after the Friday night sleepover. But Aubrey would have been that weird kid at the sleepover that never took her costume off.
Probably slept in it.
That's what's going on.
Dragged myself up for morning cartoons with the makeup still on my face, like, what's for breakfast?
Yeah. And for those of you who are regulars to the show, you might be noticing a couple of things. One, I didn't mention it last week, but I am in a brand new studio in my home office. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum. So if you've seen the setting that I use for Back Issue Breakfast Club or some of the morning mini bites, that's where I am. And this is the new permanent studio. Now, because of that, because of this setup, my son went all out to get me a great setup. I'm using a new camera, but it is located up here instead of where I'm used to it right here. So I've got the controls in front of me, but the camera's here. So I might be a little bit discombobulated for the next couple of weeks. So don't let that throw you. But Aubrey, we have to ask this question. And I am so happy that you found what's in the bowl and you were able to get the brand new summer Fruity Pebbles.
Look at that.
I still have not been able to find this. I'm going to bring you up solo. This is the limited edition Summer Fruity Pebbles by Post. You found it without any question. I asked you Thursday if you can find this to get it, and you responded Friday that you got it. Or no, that night. That night you responded that you got it. I've been to 5 Walmarts, 3 Krogers, 2 Targets, and 1 Publix. And I cannot find this anywhere in my part of Middle Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
Is Columbia like a test market? I know you've got the Pepsi bottling company there. Do you also have a Coca-Cola bottling company?
We used to have that, but I don't think that's there anymore. We do have a whiskey maker, a Tennessee, not the same thing anymore.
Well, so you were able to find the Summer Fruity Pebbles. I've been begging Post, help Johnny out. Send me some boxes of this. I did go ahead and get Berry Pebbles.
Woohoo!
So we are both doing Fruity Pebbles. Now, I don't know how different the Summer Pebbles is because I've not been able to try it yet. So I'm excited.
Luck Dragon here. Maybe it's because I had the Luck Dragon. We're going to try this and let's see what the color looks like because it shows on the box. I haven't opened it yet, guys. I'm still in the plastic stage. I didn't even open it this time. I was in such a hurry. I did watch. I've watched the most episodes except for Spider-Man, I believe, of Jackie Chan. I'm not going to lie.
Well, why wouldn't you? I told you that you were going to fall in love with this show and you were going to want to watch more and more.
Oh, well, we got to talk about that part later. But on the cereal end, oh my goodness. It smells so good. I got to put my whole nose in there. The dragon nose apparently too, because I can't get it in my face without it.
While you're doing that, I'm already digging into Berry Pebbles.
Okay, so it is. Listen. Here we go. It is blue and red. It is blue and red. Okay.
Like the Berry Pebble.
Same color blue. I don't know if the red's is there. You have red in yours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll do the dry test. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles. Guys, there's a warning label right there. Same fruity taste. Guys, you know what that means in layman's terms, right? It's not a different flavor.
It's
so
just
Johnny, the one
box.
you're eating tastes like berries. I remember that one.
Yep.
I had that a long time ago and I was like in love with it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, this just tastes like regular Fruity Pebbles. It actually tastes less good, honestly. To me, dry. It tastes less good than the other. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pour my milk from my little teacup here, my bamboo teacup.
That's funny. That's funny. So I know she's not going to admit this, But with that dragon mask on, she's nearly blind. I can tell you can't.
I have my glasses on. Actually, that's what the shimmer you see. It is my glasses, but the openings.
Yeah, I can tell you're kind of feeling your way around a little bit.
Funny though, but you guys saw live on camera. I still poured the milk without a drip, and I was looking at you guys instead. Okay, tea ceremony. I can do. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see me and my milk first. Oh.
And for those of you who are wondering, yes, Aubrey does this backwards. She puts the milk in first, followed by the cereal.
Are we doing this? Since I have the summer one? Since I have the summer one. Look. Oh, that's cute. For more fun, look, visit right there. How do we reverse the camera so they can see that?
Oh, it's the right way on my side. It's createwithpebbles.com.
Okay, awesome. Check that out, guys. That sounds actually like fun. Unscramble the phrase in the net. If you want to play a game, check the net out. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm a huge fan of Bam Bam and Petals. You know, the epic romance. All right. Me and my little luck dragon and my notes. We're going to try the cereal because I'm pretty sure it tastes the same, but
well, that's okay because while you were pouring it, I already finished a bowl of berry pebbles, so I'm going to pour some more and enjoy some more. Now, for those of you who are watching for the first time, you're like, are they really eating live on air? Yes, that's part of the experience of the Saturdays of our youth. So, yes. And we want to know what's in your bowl. So post it in the comments. Let us know what you've got this morning. So, Aubrey, summer Fruity Pebbles, 1 to 5 bowls of cereal. Because Berry Pebbles gets 5. Easy. Easy.
Okay, let's not compare. You know, like the talismans, they are all different. I will say though, hold on. Yeah, me and the luck dragon agree. I prefer the berry pebbles. Ladies that rock, I prefer the berry pebbles. I'm not gonna lie. The summer pebbles just taste like Fruity Pebbles. It's just different because it's a red, white, and blue. So hey, you know what that would be good for, right? Yeah, you know what it would be good for? Rice Krispie treats for summer treats. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the ladies that rock, and that is what's on the back of my cereal box, The Women Who Rock, celebrating great women of history. So while you've got a fun game-centric back of the box, I've got a great educational history back of the box. Yeah.
Nice.
This is the kind of thing that I would sit and read this like 20 times over. Like in 1983, Sally Ride became the first American woman in space. Her achievement inspired other women to follow their dreams. Ta-da! Dum bum bum. So out of 5, what are you giving the summer pebbles?
I'm sorry to say, except for the red and blue being festive, I feel like it's a 3 for me. The summer pebbles is a 3 in comparison to the ladies that rock berry flavor, which was a 5 for me.
All right. Well, I am coming down to Columbia today.
Okay.
Where you are.
Okay.
I'm going to go to your Walmart and I'm going to get that because...
Or you could just take my box, Johnny.
Or I could just take your box. That's fair. I love this.
Yeah, I really do like the berry flavor.
Fruity Pebbles, it varies for me. It goes back and forth between Fruity Pebbles and Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the #1 favorite cereal.
Ooh.
Anyway, we've got some audience comments, and we've got a lot of them. Now, for all of you who are watching on YouTube, we love you watching on YouTube. We love you commenting on YouTube. However, it helps us more if you jump over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/cerealboxpodcast. I should probably put a banner up for that. And if you will post your comments and give us your likes there, because we are part of the monetization program, the creator bonus program. So when you like, comment, and share on Facebook, we get a little bit of a spiff. It helps us out. So we would appreciate that. But Zentron is with us. He says, "Good afternoon, fellow cereal boxers." And that's probably not his accent at all. He's coming at us live, waiting on his washing machine to finish. And Zentron says he just came back from France this Thursday.
Wow. What did you do in France? You should tell us.
Well, here's the thing, Aubrey. Someone in the UK going to France is like someone from Tennessee going to Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky?
Yeah.
Really?
Or Indiana. That's how close Europe is.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Delaware is like 14 hours from me.
Right. Americans have no idea how big America really is.
Yeah, we have a lot of land still here. There's still room.
Well, there was a guy on YouTube from Britain who came here, and one of the complaints that other countries have about Americans is that we are not well traveled. And after spending 3 months in the United States and only seeing about a quarter of it, he came to the conclusion that it's not that we're not well traveled, it's that we don't have to be, because our states are like European countries. Every state is completely different. And it would take ages to see all of the United States. We are just that massive. So going to France is like us going to Indiana.
Yeah.
It's a road trip. It's just a day trip. So, but I would love to know, Zentron, what you did in France. Did you go to Paris? I've never been to Paris. I want to go to Paris. Anyway, Dave Mattingly says, "Welcome back, Zentron." And Dave Mattingly utters one of my favorite phrases from Jackie Chan Adventures. "One more thing."
Oh my gosh. You forgot to sweep the shop. It's always the sweeping. That's the last thing he said.
And one more thing. Do not forget. Hello, Dave Mattingly, says Zentron. It's good to be back. All right.
Good morning, Dave.
Zentron said he had no Wi-Fi connection where he was last week, and he was attending a remembrance ceremony.
Oh, well, it's wonderful of you to attend.
And Zentron has jumped over to Facebook. David Walsh is Zentron. So thank you. And Dave Mattingly says, "Song Swap Showdown is a blast." Yes, it is. You guys should definitely check it out on Monday mornings. What we do for Saturday mornings, they do for Monday mornings and with music.
Ooh.
And Zentron says, "Whoa, double audio." Dave Mattingly says, "Jackie Chan Adventures and Big Trouble in Little China is the crossover we need." And you're not wrong. And actually, one of the voice actors on Jackie Chan Adventures was one of the main characters in Big Little
Yes, the bad guy. Yeah. The bad guy. He played the bad guy. Yep.
Yeah. Dave Mattingly says, "When you say Aubrey was that weird kid that never took her sleepover costume off, I think you meant Aubrey is that awesome kid that never took her costume off. Same thing.
Oh, thank you, Dave. We were a very small group that thought we were cool together. Everyone else thought we were weird.
And Dave says, don't worry, Johnny. We'll get you recombobulated in no time. Here's what I need to do. I need to get another like crane arm to bring my camera here so that I'm looking here and not having to look here. Because if I can look here, I can read all the... Anyway, it's a thing.
I kind of like my camera up here, but I wish I could get it to zoom. So if anyone knows how to do that, that's not something I've been able to figure out yet.
Well, I do love, though, that I'm able to be in my space. Because we created this new studio space, there's still a lot of things that are all like stacked up in the corner that we've got to rearrange and whatnot. But once it's done, I'm going to give a full tour of the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Houdini room, as it were.
Oh.
And let's see. Vinny Mercado is watching. He says, hi, guys. How you doing? We're doing great. Glad you are in the audience with us. And Zentron says, we were invited to attend a week of remembrance ceremonies for the resistance fighters, as well as remembering the U.S. and British airmen killed in the mid-air collision in the area. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
One of my favorite things is to be able to say hi and we appreciate you to the soldiers of whatever country we live in, because they do continue to protect our freedom and they do continue to follow orders that are supposed to protect our freedom. So whether we like those orders or not, we should appreciate them. I have military in the family. I am an Air Force brat. It has nothing to do with, all of this being me, but it definitely helps me to acknowledge and connect with people based on being a military kid and military family. We were not as much of a military family as some, but it is one thing that I find wonderful, that all countries still respect their soldiers.
That is really great. And Dave Mattingly says Jackie Chan was the original choice to play Wang in Big Trouble in Little China.
Really?
I can see that. I can see that, but I think that would have been a completely different movie if he had been the one to play that part.
Oh my gosh, it would have been a completely different movie though, Johnny.
Yeah.
Can we do a redo? I don't want to do a redo, but at the same time now I do. Now, I mean, I kind of now I do. Could that happen? Could we have a 2?
It could happen in animation very easily. And there,
China 2?
Well, there is word of a sequel on the way.
No way! I'm so excited about all of these things happening. Jim Henson is talking about, puppetry, and there's all kinds of stuff in the works there. We've got
wait. Jim Henson died in 1990.
Yes, I mean the studios that are carrying on his legacy. I've seen some of the puppets that they've started making, and it's very Dark Crystal. Very. I'm like, oh, please tell me there's something big coming. But and then there's the Beetlejuice movie, which
Did you watch the Dark Crystal series on Netflix?
I'm gonna be honest. I have not. I heard not great things, and it steered me in a bad direction. So I'm that's still on my list.
People loved it. Loved it. Yeah. So I haven't watched it yet because I did not want to distill the movie experience. I love the movie so much. I have a resistance to stories being continued from movies to television series. And every time I resist my resistance, see what I did there? I feel burned. I feel disappointed. Anyway, like Willow. Anyway, it is time for Saturday Morning 102. It is time to get into our main topic. And our main topic this morning is brought to us by our Cereal Box Super Friends on Patreon. Eli Cash, George Soroy, Phoenix Sisters Entertainment, Larry Amiet, Cherise Collins, Greg and Crystal Jones, Dave Mattingly, Clyde Hall, Valerie Davidson, Chris Vaglio, Jeremy Bell, Dave Manginelli, Angelina Vaquera Linky, and Dennis Posey. And by the way, Angelina Vaquera Linky, she emailed me to correct me on the pronunciation of her last name. Because she was our first monthly giveaway winner on Patreon.
Yay!
She won a copy of Dick Tracy issue number 1 from Mad Cave Studios, along with some other goodies. She got a copy of Gotcha Men issue 0. She got a copy of Thundercats issue number 3.
Ooh, nice.
She got a bunch of extras. But congratulations. And if you're wondering, well, how can I win? Well, become a member of our Patreon community at patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. The banner is running down below, and you can be entered into our monthly giveaway. And here's what I'm giving away. Because, Aubrey, my shelves are bursting with collectibles, graphic novels, board games. I don't have room for everything anymore. So, basically, I'm giving away my collections. And doing a random drawing every month, sometimes more than a month. And we're starting with the graphic novels that I have reviewed on Back Issue Breakfast Club. So $1 a month gets you entered in that drawing, and $2 a month gets you access to join us on screen every Saturday. Your camera, our cameras, you can pop up and be a guest with us, and the VIP level, you get to host your own show. So, Dennis, if you're watching, we need to talk about your next show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, our main topic is Jackie Chan Adventures. And I had a great graphic for that, and it has disappeared. Why did this disappear? Somebody stole it. But here we go. Jackie Chan Adventures. This Tale of the Tape. Okay, so Tale of the Tape, Jackie Chan Adventures is an animated television series developed by John Rogers, Dwayne Capisi, Jeff Klein, and produced by Sony Pictures Television, Columbia TriStar Television, which is, became Sony, Adelaide Productions, the TC Group, and Blue Train Entertainment. This was a true collaboration. The cartoon series premiered September 9th, 2000, and ran for 5 seasons until its conclusion on July 8th, 2005. The series focuses on a fictionalized version of Hong Kong action star Jackie Chan, who operates in life as an archaeologist and special agent, combating threats that are mainly magical and supernatural, based on real-life mythologies and supernatural stories from Asia and around the world, with the aid of his family and close friends. And it's set in a world which magic and supernatural forces exist, but are unknown to much of humanity. And these include demons, ghosts, spirits, spells, various creatures, and gods of mythology. And although the series focused mostly on those from Asia, primarily Chinese mythology and folklore, it does also include other locations in the world, including Europe, Central America, Japan, and...
Oh, yeah, they travel.
Yeah, and in the animated series, the actor Jackie Chan exists in this setting as a professional archaeologist with a high degree of martial art combat skill, who is forced to accept the fact that magic and supernatural exists when he uncovers a talisman in an artifact that possesses magical powers sought by a criminal organization. Dun, dun, dun. And so Aubrey took a lot of notes. I got to say, first of all, this is my favorite series of the last 24 years. And it is 24 years old this year. Came out in 2000. And I absolutely love this show. This is the first show that my son was old enough to get into when it was in reruns. And we were talking about this at the dinner table last night, that he remembers that this was like a religious thing. We watched this every day in syndication together and just absolutely loved it. So we mentioned Jackie Chan, a real life archaeologist. His niece Jade is a badass martial artist in her own right. And Aubrey, I loved how every time Jackie Chan said, "Jade, you stay here," she showed up wherever it was they were going.
Wait a second. You loved that part?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That was, as a parent and a grandparent, that was fear-inducing.
No.
I could see that they had really translated that in the acting.
As a Gen Xer who lived life independently and on the edge, that spoke to me in so many ways, and it still did. When I watched these episodes again this week, I was like, I love Jade. I want to be Jade when I grow up. Here's some of the masks of the Oni, the demons, the mythological creatures. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Those are the demon generals, yeah.
And here's Toru, who became very, very close with Jade. But he started off as a villain.
Yes, he did.
And then joined the Jackie Chan clan, as it were, the J Team.
Yeah, and began studying under Uncle to become a mystic.
A mystic sumo warrior.
Yeah.
And one more thing. You must not eat so much rice.
Oh, there you go. There is the actor that played Jackie.
This is from the video game. And what was his name, Aubrey? I'm going to lean on you on some names here.
I do have
James C. was his name.
Yeah, that's the picture I got, and he was approved by Jackie. He was one of the actors. Stacy Chan was the other one.
She
James
was Jade.
C was a fictionalized version, and for all of you that could not tell, you have not watched enough Jackie Chan movies, because I could tell right away. No offense to James C, but you do not sound exactly like Jackie, and that's okay. He also voiced the characters of Chow and Shen Du, and later being the main antagonist in the first 2 seasons, then a recurring character in later seasons. Stacy Chan was Jade, and Lucy Liu also did her voice in a number of episodes. Not every episode, but a number of them.
Well, Lucy Liu was the older Jade who traveled through time. And I'm trying to find, I don't have a picture of older Jade. I thought I loaded one.
You know what? That is, I did not get to those episodes, because in season 4 Jade was still younger. I watched over a dozen episodes from season 1, 2, and 4, but I have to admit that some of them were hard to find, unless you already have them, which if you do, then you guys are lucky.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can rent them on Amazon Prime, but I like to do the free links. Here's Uncle. We talked about Uncle. He is a sorcerer supreme. He is a
key wizard, technically.
Yeah, and he's basically the patriarch of the family. And
the ball buster. I'm sorry. I don't know if we can say that on.
Sure.
He's always harassing Toru and Jane and Jackie and talking so spicy to them. I mean, if you have that person in your family, this is the one-liner guy that can cut you down with just one sentence. Oh, and there we go.
Captain. Well, yeah, Captain Black, played by Clancy Brown. You guys know Clancy Brown. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. He was in Carnival. He was in why can I not think of these things when we're live on air?
He was also Ratso Melvin and a Super Moose.
Yeah, you know Clancy Brown. He was
I've got him. Yes. Oh my gosh. Back to the Future. Can we say an epic, actor, voice and live action?
Yeah, he is. He was. He plays a character in Invincible. He plays. I mean, he's just done tons of stuff, and I don't know why it's not coming to me off the top of my head this morning. I'm all discombobulated.
He's been in Highlander, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption. That was the one I was trying to remember.
Starship Troopers. If you don't remember him from Starship Troopers, I mean,
oh my gosh, yes,
I've seen that movie way too many times. Obviously,
he was the drill sergeant.
Yeah, he's been on. I mean, he's been on Ashoka, Flubber. Yep. He was in Flubber, Last Airbender. This man is one of the most prolific, live action and
he played the Devonian
voice actors.
He played the Devonian in season 2 of The Mandalorian. He's everywhere.
Was in Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah,
a voice in Superman the animated series, the 96 to 2000. I mean, in person, he is an intimidating character. But you take his voice career and add that to it, and he's just like the voice of this guy right here, Captain Black. Such a big deal in this, and probably a lot of people don't know who he is.
Oh no, people know who Clancy Brown is. Absolutely,
well, I mean the younger crowd,
Well, maybe. It always amazes me when fans don't know their fandom history.
Yeah, what about Michael Rosenbaum in there?
Well, hold on. Okay. I want to talk about Captain Black for a minute.
Okay.
Because he is the government liaison that is basically the Earthstats leader of the J-Team. Jackie Chan, Uncle Toru, El Toro, the older Jade, and he's not just a government overseer. He is a tough guy agent himself. But my purpose in showing this image was the only character that would dare talk back to Captain Black was... Oh, I see why these images are disappearing. Uncle was the only one who could talk back to Captain Black. Everybody else was afraid of him. And here's Jade with her voice actor, Stacy C.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about some of these other voice actors real quick. So we've got Miguel Sandoval as El Toro. Mm-hmm. You've seen him. He was on the TV series Medium for 6 years. Mm-hmm. James Sands.
Julian Sands.
Yeah, Julian Sands was Valmont, who I believe is
an amazing actor. Julian Sands. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he played Valmont, and he's been in so many stuff.
So many things. Actor that was in Smallville too. That was interesting.
Okay.
More than one actor from Smallville that's in here.
Susan Eisenberg, who was the voice of Wonder Woman on Justice League. She was Viper. Adam Baldwin, from Serenity, from Firefly.
I love that. I have a patch.
Yeah. You remember he was the bodyguard in My Bodyguard. He was in Full Metal Jacket, Firefly, Serenity. He was Jane Cobb. We had John DiMaggio as Hack Fu. And do you know who John DiMaggio is? Animation fans know who he is. He was Bender on Futurama. He was Jake the dog on Adventure Time. He was.
Got to be some Adventure Time fans in here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But here's the one that blew me away, and I recognized his name immediately. James Hong played the character of. James Hong played Dailon Wong.
Mm-hmm.
He was the main antagonist of the third season. He was another chi wizard that was a thorn
the villain,
in
right?
Uncle's.
He was a bad guy?
Yeah, he was the thorn in Uncle's side. And James Wong played he was in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, we said that earlier. He was the villain.
Yeah, he played golly, why is none of this stuff coming? Normally, Aubrey, all of this stuff just rolls right off the top of my head. I don't even need notes usually. But why can I not remember? That's one of my favorite movies, and why can I not? David Lopan. Oh my God.
Lopan. Oh, I didn't realize you were trying to get his name. Lopan. Yeah.
Yeah, he played Lopan in Big Trouble in Little China.
But so many other things. I mean, Teen Titans. All the way
he's been in everything.
Yeah. Oh, Flower Drum Song. Okay. If you guys like musicals, I adore musicals. And he was in Flower Drum Song, one of the biggest Asian casts ever. If you like musicals and a full Asian cast, yes. Flower Drum Song. Check it out.
And you mentioned Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor in Smallville. He played the Flash in the Justice League. Yeah. He was Drago. And then Jackie Chan himself appeared in live action sequences, sometimes at the beginning, sometimes at the end, but always at the end to kind of recap the moral message of the show.
Oh, so he started the show, right? That I'm glad you have that clip up. Because he started this show, The Adventures of Jackie Chan, right after Rush Hour, like directly after. They were like, "Hey, Jackie, we're gonna do this," and he was like, talking about them adding things in, and they were like, "We want to use movie stuff." Like they, if you watch this series, they use scenes from his movies, not just Rush Hour, but many of the earlier ones. Drunken Master, I think, is one of them. I don't know if I'm remembering the name of it correctly, but yes. I watched Kung Fu movies when I was younger, and karate movies, and there we go. Fearless Hyena. 1979. There we go. The way back machine. But yes, even in these Island Fire, yes, those ones he still uses in the animation. They tried to recreate that.
Well, and they reference these stories from the movies in the story of Jackie Chan Adventure.
Yep. And if you really watch the clips at the end, Jack is being honest. Like, kids are asking him questions. Like, Mr. T, used to answer questions back in the day. Jackie was doing that. Like, he was taking questions from kids and giving short little video answers. So we've got little tidbits like Jackie's favorite color is white. One of the things Jackie finds difficult to do is use the computer, message people, and be on the internet. And I'm like, and he's just being honest. They asked him, how bad he was injured, and he's like broken almost every bone in his body, and was, talking about that with the kids like it's a real thing. Like, you don't do the stunts, but I did it. Broken so many things, his collarbone, all of multiple fingers, his ribs multiple times, and he tells the kids this, and he's honest.
So, Aubrey, do you remember Evel Knievel?
Of course I do.
So
Gave every kid that had a bike a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, Evel Knievel bragged that he broke every bone in his body except for his pinky.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Chan has broken every bone in his body, including his pinky, doing his own stunts in the movies.
Yep, he is an amazing. And one of the things he talked about is his travel, because much like his character in this show, even though he's not acting as the character, he has traveled that much. And what he said was his favorite part about travel is his friends. Because his friends, he would not be able to travel as well without his friends. Because when he goes places, they help him and they talk to him and they spend time with him, and he enjoys that. So the thing he'll miss is his friends when he's traveling, because he would love to have a studio, he talks about, where he doesn't have to travel like his character. But at the same time, he'll miss his friends. So he kind of doesn't want to stop. But this is way back when, in the first season, like a lot of us.
Now the specific episode that I gave you to watch was Mask of the Shadow Khan. And in Mask of the Shadow Khan, the henchmen, they're pretty much done with being henchmen. They don't want to do this anymore. and they're like, thanks for breaking us out of jail, but we're going to take a pass on the whole henchman thing. And
trying to go.
Yeah, and the Lord of the Shadow Khan was like, no, you are enslaved to me for all eternity, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man. But in that episode, Uncle is training Toru to be a chi wizard. And here's him using the pufferfish as an energy projection weapon.
And he also sometimes uses the lizard.
I think that's what this is. Or that looks like a worm.
It looks like a worm that time. The
But
energy for the magic is always green.
Yeah. But he's got this puffer fish that he holds by the tail, and he fires his chi magic through the fish like a pistol. It's pretty awesome. What a great idea. And that looks like this is when Toru was still one of the henchmen.
Yep.
Before he converted and joined the team.
In season 1 when he's working for the Dark Hand.
But the Shadow Khan conjures these shadow ninja. And this is what I loved about this particular episode, is that ninja are Japanese. Jackie is Chinese, Uncle and Jade are Chinese, but Toru is Japanese. Yep. He's a sumo. And so he was the one who had all of the knowledge on the Oni. And the down here in the right bottom corner is the mask of the Lord of the Shadow Khan. What was that character's name? Did you jot that down? I just remember he was the Lord of the Shadow Khan. But he was a Japanese Oni. And many of these masks are Japanese Oni. Oni are Japanese demons. And
somebody remembers his name. No, I did not write that down.
No, that's okay. So Toru became invaluable in this episode because he was the one with the deeper knowledge of the Japanese mythology and the Japanese martial arts.
So a cool thing about the Dark Hand leader, if you watch in enough of episodes, you'll see he's actually not useless. He's not just relying on his henchmen and waiting for the treasure, which he is, like chomping at the bit almost every episode, talking about money. That is funny. You want to talk about funny? Talk about, a villain that's like, tapping his watch, like, when am I going to get paid back from it?
Well, but he's not even the real villain. He's not even the head villain. The dragon behind him is the one really controlling everything.
Yeah, well, the dragon. Well, actually, I don't know if you would say controlling it. The man's greed, the head of the Dark Hand. I've forgotten his name. I'm looking for his name still. He's wanting the treasure. It's all about the treasure for him. That's why he's going along with what the demon is talking about Shindu. And he's got a tooth when he gets captured in one of the episodes later on. He's got a tooth that's got like electronics in it, and he pushes a button and his cane flies to him, and there's like a light sword inside it.
So wait,
I
is
haven't
his
watched
name
nearly enough episodes.
is his name Drago?
Isn't that Drago?
Yeah, played by Michael Rosenbaum. Or am I confusing it with somebody else?
No, Drago was season 4, I think.
He was not in the episode that I assigned, Mask of the Shadow Khan. So, hold on. There's got to be some images of the characters. I can't find any pictures of the characters like with their names underneath them.
Yeah, Drago is the golden dragon behind him. The villain is the name I was trying to remember. It's not Shindu.
The white-haired guy. Okay,
Shindu
so
is the actual name of the demon sorcerer that embodies
audience, we need your help. Valmont, that's who it is. Valmont
is the main bad guy. Okay, you know what? Why white hair? Why blue eyes? Why him?
Well, he's European, right?
He does seem to give off that, but the whole time he's just worried about money. Like he gets annoyed with the Chans. Don't get me wrong, but that's because they're keeping him from this epic treasure.
Well,
that Drago has promised.
Well, that's all criminals care about is money. What else, if he wasn't concerned with money, why would he be doing any of what he was doing?
Yeah. I mean, they have power. They in some of these shows, it's about taking everything or power. But he just wants money. Like,
but what does that power get you?
Yeah.
Unless you have money to control. Money controls the world. So,
but in this cartoon, why can't they put more money into the backgrounds? Okay, can we talk about that?
Wait, what?
Okay, I know for some people.
Okay, it is a very stylized art, which I loved. I loved the art stylization here. I thought it was so cool because it's basically like a watercolor painting. Where things are not necessarily in the lines, things are represented by shapes, and dabs of color. I love that aspect of this show because as a theater producer, I always say, Aubrey, that if people are coming to watch your show to see the set, then you're doing something wrong.
But I love the backgrounds, Johnny. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I will watch an animation just to see the shadows on the streets and the ripples in the water.
I don't care. I don't care about the backgrounds. I care about the story being told.
I love that we have differences of opinion in that. So yeah, really quick though, to go back there. Yeah, Drago and Shindu are not the same people. The demon sorcerer Shindu is got the fire. He's the fire demon, but he also shares that with his future son Drago. So they're actually two different entities that Chans are battling. And did we mention Section 13 yet?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. How many times does Jade have to break in? How many times do they have to get a hold of the talismans?
So, okay. Well, let's talk about Jade for just a minute. Jade shows up everywhere that she's not supposed to be. And I suspect, and I don't think this was ever verified in the series, that Jade has her own mystical ability of teleportation or trans-dimensional travel. Because literally, she shows up in places not only that she's not supposed to be, but would be impossible for her to get to under her own power.
you're not wrong. Like, what sex? Like, she's right here. And then, he walks away and she's in the compartment above in
of the
airplane.
plane. Yeah, and if she hadn't been there on the airplane, Jackie would have died because he got sucked out of the plane. And if she wasn't there with a parachute ready to rescue him, that would have been the end of the show.
They're the comic relief in here. I admit the comedy makes it feel like Jackie Chan, because that's one of the best parts about a lot of his shows and his movies was it wasn't just a serious thing. Like, there was a lot of comedy in a lot of the things that he did. The slapstick was what made it interesting, and the reason why I kept watching, even though I was so annoyed by those backgrounds.
See, I love that because here's why I love it, because it puts all of the focus on the foreground characters.
Yeah,
everything is insinuation. It's what is the word I'm looking for? It's suggested. It doesn't have to be completely rendered and drawn out. Our minds fill in the gaps. Like, we know that this is like a concert poster, and we can tell that there are tickets in the frame. There's a backstage pass. We don't know anything else, but our mind fills in all those details because they are items that are familiar to us. We see in the background, in the other room, we see artifacts, masks on the wall, artifacts on shelves, a stack of books. They don't have to be completely rendered. Our mind fills in the rest. And in a lot of ways, Aubrey, that stimulates our own imagination to fill in those details. And I think that's a good thing. And it forces all of the focus on the characters and the story. So that's what I do in my theater productions. When you come see a show that I produce on stage, you're not going to see elaborate sets. You're going to see elaborate costumes. You're going to see elaborate props, but you're not going to see elaborate backdrops, backgrounds, and set pieces, because I want all of the focus on the foreground. And that's what this show does.
I do have to mention that the same writer of Teenage Dirtbag is the creator of the Chan's the Man, which is the ending theme song when you leave the show. So if you know Teenage Dirtbag, you know Wheatus. And Wheatus is the one who has done that song, and it makes it worth it. I don't know. I leave it running. Like, when I was watching it, I would leave it running because I was jamming out to the song at the end of
the episode. So the theme music was fire. The score for this show was so perfect. It was, the music throughout the episodes was very underscored, but complementary to what was happening. And yeah, that end credit music was slamming. The animation was flawless. Some of the best animation I've ever seen. It was so fluid. It was so flawless. Take issue, if you will, with the backgrounds. The character animation was gorgeous. Yes. And
I have to admit, there are some funny, awkward moments that make the background being fuzzy worth it. Like the Statue of Liberty's toes. We got to see the Statue of Liberty's toes, and then it disappeared. And then Jackie had to try to figure out how to make it reappear.
So he was David Copperfield. Dave Mattingly says Jackie Chan episode with the hopping vampire always cracks me up. Now, Dave, the hopping vampire, was this also the same episode as Spring-Heeled Jack? Because there was an episode where they had to chase Spring-Heeled Jack to get one of the talismans. I love that episode.
One of my favorite episodes is when all the bad guys have a cold and Jackie Chan gets turned into a lizard by his uncle. And he's like, "Don't worry, it peels right off." He's trying to turn to stone. His nose and other body parts are turning to stone. And if you watch his old kung fu style movies. One of the episodes, like his arm's supposed to be like really strong, and like he goes to punch something and he like punches the part of a wall. And in this episode, he punches part of a wall and his arm has turned to stone just in time. And he goes, "Oh, I did not feel that." And he's like, "New weapon." He's trying to hit him with his stone arm. And I'm like, and meanwhile, Toru's got a cold and sneezing and rolling down like a ball down the stairs. I mean, the comedy relief, I loved it. It kept me laughing.
And Uncle says, "And one more thing, Jackie. It will wear off eventually."
Eventually.
Yeah. One more thing.
Don't worry.
So for years after the show originally aired, that was our thing in our house. And one more thing. We said it all the time.
But your wife got tired of that.
No, she was the one who started it.
I love that.
Because we watched this together. This was a family watch. Dave Mattingly says, the first time I rewatched this series, I was surprised how much time was spent on the thugs before they transformed. So here's the thing about this show. There were no throwaway characters. Every character was fully developed, fully realized, and they spent a lot of time making even the bad guys relatable. And you know, they weren't just bad guys to be bad guys.
Yeah.
And I really love that. Dave Mattingly also says not everyone realizes how much martial arts training is required for an archaeology degree.
You know, it's a great thing though that they could incorporate the appreciation of history in with all of this comedy. Like, you know, the hard appreciation of hard work and history and family. Hard work, history, and family were like the undercurrents of this slapstick, sometimes ridiculous. Yes, sometimes ridiculous. Like, I'm like, no, that didn't. No. But then the next second I'm laughing and I've forgotten everything except the backdrops.
So Dave Mattingly says about Toru, the gentle giant trope has rarely been done so well.
I agree.
Yeah, he definitely was. He could throw down when he needed to, but I don't think he ever really wanted to have to. He was the reluctant warrior, and I loved him, and I loved his relationship with Jade. It was, you know, like, I don't know, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but it wasn't so much a brother-sister relationship as it was a little girl and her big dog. Her giant mountain shepherd.
Okay, I won't deny that Toru, I noticed, did gain respect for Jade before he joined the crew. Because there were times when he was just like, when they showed the character being like shocked that she just did something, you know, really fast and got away from them, or where it was impressive. There were a few moments where the crew or the bad guys were like taken aback by how much this little ball of energy.
she was a little mosquito. She could fight as well as Jackie could, and she could show up where she wasn't supposed to be. And here's the thing I loved about Jade. Jade was not like Penny from Inspector Gadget. You remember Penny from Inspector Gadget? She was really the brains behind the operation.
She was so smart.
And Inspector Gadget was pretty much incompetent. That was not the case here. Jade was complimentary to Uncle, to Jackie. What they didn't bring to the table, she brought. And she was smart. She was tough. But she would never outshone anybody else, and she never diminished any of the other characters.
She was definitely always getting into something, though. Like, part of the story was Jackie not just getting a little bit rescued by her sometimes, but also like Jackie getting her out of some scrapes. Although there is an episode where Jackie Chan gets to be set up with running down the side of a collapsing building getting thrown into water. But in between that, he breaks his leg on a toy. He broke his leg on a toy, guys. Do you remember? If you have kids, if you have grandkids, if you've ever stepped on a toy and be like, ow, and then something bad happens. Like even his uncle picked on him. You go down the side of collapsing building, but you break your leg on a toy. Chinese proverb.
And one more thing: do not step on Legos in the dark.
It was a what was it, a ogre cop, or a well, not ogre. It was little action figures come to life because Jade threw, accidentally, like it flung the rat that and brought it to life. It was like Toy Story. Oh, but he was gonna kill things, and then at the end, Johnny, you should love this episode. There's a giant kaiju version of him because the rat flies into the thing's mouth, and we're this enormous kaiju size toy is about to take over the city.
Dave Mattingly says, I never knew there was a video game based on the series.
There's two.
There were two of them, Dave.
Yeah.
And Dave Mattingly says, James Hong has 467 credits. He finally got his Hollywood star.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When was that?
I don't know when that was, but
He should have had it.
It's recently. It's recently.
Yeah, he's been another very prolific, amazing artist.
So Zentron says about Jackie Chan's stunts. His first stunt on Armor of God, he missed grabbing the tree, hit the ground, and split his head open, including his skull.
You would think that would have deterred him, but no. We had many more years of Jackie almost breaking things.
Thank you, Dave Mattingly. Miguel Ferrar voiced Shadow Khan. Yeah, that was the Lord of the Shadow Khan. And Zentron says Valmont spent more money chasing the money than getting the money.
I know, that was like a complaint, right, Zentron? He was like, I've spent so much. When am I getting this treasure?
Yeah. Thank you, Dave Mattingly. He says you might be thinking of Impressionism. That's what the backgrounds are. It's Impressionism. It just gives you the impression, and we fill in the rest. And I love that.
Impressionism with art on the wall. I want my backgrounds. I want to see the raindrops falling. Sorry, I'm spoiled by anime now. Anime and digital art has spoiled this born in the 1980s baby. I don't know what happened. It broke me.
Well, it all comes down to personal taste.
Spoiled me.
It just comes down to personal taste. I don't need all of the detail. I like the Impressionism. But, different people, different strokes for different folks. Dave Mattingly says every child has the ability to show up where they're not supposed to be. That is absolutely right. All right. Zentron says the hopping vampires are called Zhangxi. So it's not the same episode. There is an episode. It's my favorite episode. And I wish we could have found it for free because it wasn't on the server that we used for this show. It's the episode where they're tracking down Spring Hill Jack in London. It was phenomenal. I loved it.
What season is that in? Do you know the season?
Well, Dave Mattingly just piped in. He said, no, the Spring Hill Jack was a different episode. Uncle puts a scroll on a vampire's face to immobilize it. Jackie destroys the vamp by putting a mushroom in his left sock and throwing it in the river. We've broken Aubrey. So here's the thing about this, Aubrey.
It's ridiculous I'm talking about. It's a mushroom.
Yes, I know. I know it sounds so ridiculous. But all of this, and this is one of the reasons I love this show so much. It's not just the writing, which is so good. It's not just the characters that are so relatable and so fleshed out. It's not just the flawless animation and the great score. What I love most about this show is it actually incorporates real history, real mythology. The creatures, the Oni, the monsters, the demons, the Shadow Ninja, the Shadow Khan, those are all real things from mythology and from folklore. And here's what I love most about it is this show gets it right. The writers of this show had a passion for mythology and folklore, and every single time they got it right. And that's why I love this show. Monsters, ninja, martial arts, kung fu, kaiju. Hello, can anyone say back of the cereal box? That's what this show is about. And this show, Jackie Chan Adventures, literally epitomizes everything our show is about, including the treasure. You know what that's a segue for, don't you? So before we get to that, any last thoughts about Jackie Chan Adventures?
I would say that if you like any form of entertainment that involves Jackie Chan, you'll love this. And if you don't, and you just like slapstick comedy that keeps you on your toes, ridiculous or no, it's still worth watching.
And I'm going to say, if you love wonderfully written, historically accurate action, adventure, comedy, celebrating the fun of Saturdays of our youth, Jackie Chan Adventures is for you. But now it is time for prizes from the cereal box, aka New Loot. And our New Loot section is brought to us once again by Entertainment Earth, your source for the best action figures and collectibles. So, Aubrey, hit us. What is in your cereal box this morning?
Okay, so my free comic book day comic of Street Fighter and
versus Final Fight.
Yeah.
So
that's something, but also I wanted to shout out the creator of my dragon tail that I'm wearing today. It's a handmade item by You Had Women That Rocks, Fruity Pebbles. This is a Woman That Rocks that I know. And we can put the link on again in our box over there, our cereal box posts on Facebook. This is from Rissaru Custom Creation Designs. It is made of cotton, and it is a dragon tail, and I use it as a belt. And it is also attached to me as a dragon piece. So check her out, and also 3D Kaizen 3D printing on Instagram. I am wearing their beautiful 3D printed piece, which is dragon scales, because I thought this was appropriate, definitely, to throw out all the green dragon items that I had.
I love that. And by the way, Aubrey, the full issue number 1 of Street Fighter versus Final Fight is out on comic book shelves this week.
Oh, nice.
So there might be another special surprise in your care package this afternoon. We shall see. But this is this segment. I forgot to intro this properly. You know, when we were kids, we'd sit down with the bowl of cereal, we'd watch the cartoons, but then we would reach into the cereal box and pull out the prize. And this week, I got a special gift from Blake Wilson, one of my right-hand guys and friend of the show. He got me a brand new board game called Cereal Snap.
What is that? That's cute.
So this is in a cereal box. It's a board game, and we've not played it yet. I just got it, so we've not even opened it. But it's kind of like one part Uno. It's, you know, a trick-taking game where you match up the different cereal boxes on cards, and then you have to, when you have a match, you slam the buzzer, and then it becomes a game of hot potato with a milk carton, a foam milk carton.
That sounds like fun.
That you pass back and forth until the buzzer goes off, and the to hold the milk carton when the buzzer goes off loses a trick, a hand of cards. Cereal Snap. I'm trying to convince the family to play it, and for some reason it comes packed with these styrofoam peanuts that have nothing to do with the game.
It's supposed to look like the cereal.
Yeah, it's just to keep everything together. Actually the packaging is pretty genius. It's got the nutrition facts, kind of like our nutrition facts, and it has all of the ingredients in the box, and it's good. I love it. So that's my new loot, and I have no idea where you can get that. He picked it up at Ollie's.
Oh, I do have an Ollie's near me.
Yeah, love Ollie's. So we're gonna leave you with just a couple of audience comments. Dave Mattingly is heading out to the Bluegrass Veg Fest and then free role-playing game day. Have fun, Dave. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at Imaginarium in a couple of weeks. Zentron says, one of my favorite episodes was when Jade became queen of the ShadowCon.
Oh, yes. That was threatened early, too.
Yes.
They saw her eyes.
Well, and there was also some indication that pretty much anyone could don the mask and acquire the powers of the ShadowCon. Because there was one moment where it almost landed on Toru. You remember that? Yeah. And then finally, Ryan Permisson says, good morning, folks. How are you? See you tomorrow, Aubrey, to celebrate Batman's 35th anniversary. Let's go.
I will be. I'll be there tomorrow, guys. In a full costume differently than the one hair. And I'm probably going to dye my hair tonight because I can't find my Poison Ivy wig.
So he is talking about Batman. It's not 89. Is it 89? Batman 89? Is it 35 years? I would have thought that was longer ago. Someone do the math. No, that's it. That's right. Because this year is my 35th year high school reunion. It was. 89 was 35 years ago.
I was 9 years old when this movie came out. I'm so excited to be doing it tomorrow.
I stood in line for Batman 89 for 5 hours at McKinley Theater in Canton, Ohio. We drank 2 liters of Coke and Diet Coke while standing in line because it was July. It was 100 degrees. And that's just what you did back then. Before Fandango, before advanced ticket buying, you had to wait in line to get a ticket. And that's what we did for 5 hours. So that show, by the way, is And I Quote with Ryan Permisson. And he's on his own network, but you can check that out at And I Quote. And I think he only does YouTube. But Ryan,
I have a Facebook too.
We need to have a conversation because if you're not part of the Facebook Creative Bonus Program, you're missing out. So again, all of you who are watching on YouTube, jump over to Facebook, give us a like, give us a heart, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook.com page, Cereal Box Podcast. All right. Before we leave.
We appreciate all of you.
Yes, we do. And before we leave, we need to acknowledge our friends at Comic Books for Kids.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
They are awesome. Check them out. And once again, they are our charity sponsor for the Multiverse fundraiser coming up in January. We've just decided that we're going to partner with them on an ongoing basis. They're a great partner, and we love their mission. So We want to thank everyone for watching, commenting, being in the audience today. We can't do this show without you, and we appreciate everyone who is a supporter on Patreon. We really appreciate your support. We don't deserve it, but we love you for supporting us. And if you're wondering what that's all about, the banner is running down below, patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. Just $2 a month gets you access to all kinds of extras. Like earlier this week, we dropped Back Issue Breakfast Club, the review of Mary Shelley's School for Monsters on Wednesday. Patreon members got to see it before anybody else in the world. So that's some of the perks you get at patreon.com. We don't deserve that support, but we appreciate it and want you to know that. Aubrey, I'm going to be coming down there today, bringing you a gift pack. So I'll text you on the way. But everybody follow Ivy. Follow Aubrey at Miss Kindred Ivy on Instagram. And for those of you who are like, Johnny, you are way off your game this morning. Yes, I am. I am trying to get used to this up and down with the camera. I'll eventually get used to it, but right now it's causing me all. I want to get an arm to put the camera right here. Right. Anyway, so with that, everybody, if you like this show, make sure you tell 200-300 of your closest friends and family to come share the fun. And until the next time, I'm Johnny. I'm done. On behalf of Aubrey, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. Ta-da!
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean, Elvis Presley, and he's still the king. Some things are